Last Monday, I think it's this week, we were able to go through the introduction of the course. We started with what social welfare is, as well as social development, looking at historical context of social welfare in Nigeria, most especially, in particular reference to pre-colonial era, colonial era, post-independence era, as well as contemporary time. We also dwell into major areas of social welfare in Nigeria, like education, health, poverty reduction and social protection, child and family welfare, as well as the elderly. Today, I promise that we'll look at challenges of social welfare and development in Nigeria. And I ask you to also read about challenges that may be facing social welfare or that are facing social welfare and development in Nigeria as a nation. I wouldn't know whether you have done that assignment or not. And we agree, or I give it to you, that every person to be able to tell me one or two challenges that Nigeria social welfare system is facing. So I want you to now start giving me that response. So I will be calling you one after the other. Just tell me one challenge you can think of. If you have not been thinking about it, just use this period to think about it before it gets to your turn. You are lucky that you are not the first person I called. So with that, we are not going to waste our time on that. And after that, we'll go to the role of social workers in development. We'll also look at some policy frameworks and sustainable development goals that are linked with the policy framework that we have in Nigeria before we consider case studies, a few case studies. Then we can now call it bye-bye on the course. So I have the objective of completing whatever we want to discuss in this particular matter or subject today. So, as it appears from here, so I'm going to give you one minute. We are 18 here, meaning that we're going to spend just 17 minutes doing that. So, as it appears on my device here, I want to start with Peter. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, please. With regards to the assignment, were you in class last week?
Assignment. Yes, I was
Peter,
in class last
were you in class last week?
Yes, sir.
Were you in class?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What challenge have you thought of that is facing Nigerian social welfare and development system? Your time starts now.
Hear you.
You didn't hear me?
No, sir.
Okay, Adeyema, your turn.
Jesus.
Adeyema Fifo. Are you there? Okay, no answer. It means no response. So I go to the Big Daddy. Big Daddy, please. Big Daddy. No answer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Who is speaking?
Big Daddy, sir.
Because
yes,
I
sir.
saw Big Daddy, but I can hear the voice of a lady.
Yes, it's me, sir. That's my surname, sir.
Why not Big Lady?
It's my surname, sir.
That's your surname, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, one challenge. Please give me one challenge that Nigerian social system is facing.
You spoke about it in the last class. In the class you spoke of, you said you had it last week, but I wasn't here last week for the class. I haven't been put into the group yet.
But you hasn't been put in the group, but I said you should look at challenges facing social welfare. So no answer from your end. All right, Smith.
Sir, I can hear you now.
I wouldn't know if anybody can hear her very well.
Sir? Yes, sir.
What's your response, please?
Sir, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Corruption and mismanagement. Corruption and mismanagement.
Good. Corruption and mismanagement. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Rejoice.
Sir.
Okay, rejoice. If I didn't call you, please don't talk, please. If I didn't call you, if you are not called, please just reserve your whatever you want to say. Okay, rejoice. You have run away. Okay, Smith.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I think social infrastructure
as a challenge. Social infrastructure as what?
Right. So a challenge of development, like in the aspect of roads and clean water.
Okay.
And
we have infrastructure. Do you want to say inadequate infrastructure as a challenge? Is that what you mean?
Yes, sir.
If you say inadequate infrastructure, that can be taken. But we have infrastructure, they may not be adequate. Okay. All right. Who is next? Caroline.
Yes,
please.
sir. Yes, sir.
Caroline,
yes, sir.
I'm taking my record.
Okay, sir. Though I was not in the class last week, but I can set low public awareness.
Public awareness?
Low public awareness.
Of what?
Social welfare, challenges of social welfare. Hello, sir. Hello.
All right, sorry, the network just logged me out. Hello.
Okay, sir.
Sorry,
Yes, sir.
the network logged me out. Sorry.
Okay,
Sorry.
sir.
Others, if you are not, can you please mute your mic if you are not called? All others should mute their mics. Please. I've just called Caroline Omonwe Chinoye. Chinoye, your turn. Chinoye, are you there? Chinoye, are you there? Chinoye? Chinoye?
Sir?
Hey,
Please respond now. Where were you? Are you in the kitchen? Chinoye, can I hear from you? Okay, no response. Which means you people didn't read. Who again? Chidima? Chidima?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, let me have your response.
So I'm just joining the class. So,
For the first time. So which means you are absent last week. Okay.
I was, yes.
Okay, it's all right. Augustine, God's will. Augustine, are you there?
It's okay, Ludi. I know this here.
Okay.
They keep
Augustine, you are not speaking. Okay. Chika, peculiar. Chika.
Why you too possible?
We have insecurity issues.
Yes, can you speak up? Can you speak up?
We have insecurity issues.
Insecurity, yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Who again? Grace Taiwo. Grace Taiwo, if you are there, can you please respond? Grace Taiwo. Grace Taiwo. Chidima, do you want to say anything?
No, sir, I don't have anything to say. I'm just coming. So let me just listen and catch up with what they are saying.
Mute your mic then. Grace Taiwo. No answer. Marcus Joy. Marcus Joy. No response?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Please go ahead. Give me your answer.
I can hear you.
You can hear me, or are you joining the class for the first time too?
Challenge welfare, for social welfare, I think poor facilities for education.
Poor facilities. Okay.
No, I'm not joining the class for the first time.
What did you say? Did you say poor facilities or what?
Education, when it comes to... Yes, sir.
It's all right. Okay. That's Grace, right? That's Marcus. Joseph.
Yes, sir.
Joseph, good afternoon. Speak up now. Why are you giving me that kind of a voice? Good afternoon, sir. Please, can you speak up so that everybody can hear you?
Sir.
Yes. I hope there's no problem. Good afternoon. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. I can hear you better now.
Yes, this is Grace speaking. Sir, I wasn't there last week, but
who is speaking again?
yes,
Grace?
sir. But I feel one of the challenges that we have in social welfare is finance.
Okay, finance. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Financial constraints. Okay.
Lack
it's
of
all
financial
right.
support.
Okay. Joseph Obiam.
Okay, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Okay, one of the challenges, I think we have cultural and religious barrier, and also lack of skill and lack of skill social workers too.
Okay, skill by social workers.
Yes.
Okay, lack of skill. Okay, lack of competent skills.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think language barrier.
Who is speaking?
Chidima.
I've not called you. Think about it very well before I come back to you. Kamso Henry. Kamso Henry, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. What have you thought about?
Okay. Based on the question you asked, we have poor governance, unable to provide funds
Political
carry
will.
on.
Put it as
Yes,
lack of political will. Put it as political will. Okay, lack of political will. Yes,
Hello?
Margaret.
Everything connected.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Sometimes social workers, they are poorly recognized in the hospitals.
In the hospital.
Yes,
Poor
sir.
recognition of social worker. Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's all right. Marvelous. Injoku marvelous. Marvelous, if you are there. Injoku marvelous.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, I'm with you.
Lack
Yes,
of
I can
accurate
hear you.
data.
Lack of what?
Lack of accurate data.
Accurate data. Accurate and reliable. Lack of accurate and reliable data.
Accurate data.
I can hear
Yes, sir.
you, don't worry. Lack of accurate and reliable data.
Yes, sir.
There may be data, but they are not reliable. It's a good one. Yeah,
Yes.
that is marvelous, right? Yes, Lucky.
Yes, sir.
To Noya.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Am I right? Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. One of the problem that social welfare faced is inadequate funding.
Inadequate funding. Somebody has mentioned it, but I take it for you as well. No wala. You put it in the proper perspective. Inadequate funding is better than finance. Okay.
Question.
Chinoye Precious. Precious Chinoye on Manuel.
That's my question.
You have not said anything, please. Precious. You have been unmuted, please. Can you say a word or two? No answer. Idioma, your turn. Precious, no answer. Idioma.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Idioma, can you please speak to the class?
Okay, sir. Poverty and unemployment.
Oh, how can that be? How can that be a challenge to social welfare system? Poverty and unemployment, except you want to say that high level of poverty and high rate of unemployment has made is overwhelming to the government that the government cannot cope with because the volume is large. That is the best way you can explain it. That could be a challenge because government has so many areas that need attention. So in that regard, government may not be able to cater for all our needs, all our social needs, as well as our developmental needs, because it cuts across so many sectors, so many facets of the society. Do you understand it that way?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. I think Peter, you have spoken. Peter, okay, yeah. Have you spoken? Peter, you have spoken, right? Victoria. Peter, Peter, you didn't speak. You have not spoken. Okay, let me hear you now. You said this is your first time in the class. Peter, I think you said that.
Oh, no, overpopulation.
Overpopulation. What is overpopulation? How does overpopulation pose a challenge to social welfare? Do you want to tell me that high rate of high population rates that is giving government enough headache to cater for? That is to say, the government, as Nigeria is highly populated, that our problems are myriad, and the government cannot handle it because handling it make it very, very overwhelming for the government. So government has very many people to take care of, and it's going to be a problem. It's like It's like a man in the household or the head of the household with many dependents, or dependents, and it may be difficult for such the head of the household to take care of the family members because if there are many. So which means it will require huge resources to cater for such. Except you can explain in that direction, that is when that can be taken. Essentially or invariably, some people are still talking. I wonder, and if I ask you to start giving us answer to this problem, you will not respond. Chidima, can you please mute your mic? Or you force me to mute you from here. Chidima, can you please mute your mic? So you can also talk about limited resources at the disposal of the government or at the disposal of anybody trying to provide social welfare. So these are some of the challenges, as you have actually mentioned, that are actually giving our social welfare system a kind of a setback. So who has not spoken? Who has not spoken?
Sir, it's me, sir. Honorable Victoria.
Okay, Victoria. Okay, Victoria, you are the last person I wanted to call. Okay, please go ahead.
Sir, I can say inadequate facilities.
Inadequate facilities. Like,
yes,
can you explain that? And also, yes.
Inadequate, adequate facilities like transportation.
Okay.
To the in the local areas.
Okay.
And also, and this welfare, social welfare, not able to engage stakeholders in the communities.
Okay. Lack of community engagement. Is that what you mean?
Yes, sir.
Okay, which means the community these projects or programs are designed for are not always carried along, which
yes,
means
sir.
their involvement is zero. So they don't see it as their programs and they don't buy into such a program because they are not involved. Their participation is limited. But if they participate fully or they are engaged appropriately as a key stakeholder, definitely those programs can be sustainable and they can go on and carry on with those programs even when government decides to step aside or to stop the funding. Okay, yes, many of you have spoken well.
Sir, another thing is, can I say, lack of competent social workers or health workers?
Some people have mentioned that.
Okay, sir.
Maybe you didn't listen then. Some mentioned that. About two of you have mentioned that. I heard about two of you have mentioned that. Yes, who has not spoken again?
Sir, it's Caroline.
It's Caroline.
No, Caroline.
Okay.
Yes, I don't know if you actually got my point before your network interrupted.
Okay.
I said
you said low awareness.
Yes, no public awareness.
Yes. Is that what you said? And
yes,
I said,
yes.
How could no public awareness be a challenge?
Okay.
Can you
Because
explain?
no, I did not explain before the network interrupted.
Okay,
I can say on that because the public are not fully aware of our profession rather. So it can actually be a very big challenge to us while working with clients, because when you meet some people and even in like the environment itself, you be like, what is social work? So you really have to explain to them deeply, like it's kind of a new thing to them, like they are not familiar with the course. So it can actually be a very big challenge to us.
Great, beautiful. So can we take that one as a public perception, low public perception about social work, because you didn't put social work, you only say low awareness. So you can put it as low public perception of
Okay.
social work as a profession.
Okay, sir.
So
Okay,
that
sir.
is taken. Good.
All right.
Good. Chidima, have you gotten a point now? So when it was not her turn, she was talking. So now she decided not to say anything. Okay. Augustine, you have not said anything, and I didn't mark you. Oka or okay, you have not said anything. I think Adeyema actually recovered. Peter also recovered in a way. Oka, no recovery. Augustine, no recovery. Precious, I didn't hear anything from you. No recovery. So, Big Daddy, you wanted to say something. I can see your hand up. I can see your electronic hand up. Is it an up
Yes,
hand?
sir.
Okay, please. Oh, yeah, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that I wasn't present in class, but what I picked from them, I don't know if someone has said it, but poor infrastructure is one of the challenges of social welfare.
Somebody has said it.
Oh,
Can you think about another one?
like unemployment.
Unemployment, somebody has talked about that. Unemployment. Anyway, you have made a good trial, and that I can take for you. Is that Precious or who has just spoken?
Big Daddy Joy, sir.
Okay, Big Daddy Joy. Okay, no wala. So, from all you have said, we can go on now. From all you have said, because from your responses, it means that many of you, some of you actually read, many of you didn't bother to read. And as a social worker, you need to read. You need to read widely. It is important that you read widely, and it's very easier now. Without going to the library, all this you can get them on your phone. You can go through Google and get all these things. You can search the web and get all these things. And this is just to enrich your knowledge. It's not just for me to be talking, to be teaching you, but you need to understand what we are doing, and you also need to have adequate knowledge and acquire right competency. Like you also pointed out that social workers, lack of adequate skill by social workers, low perception of public perception about social workers' duties, and so on and so forth. Some people also mention lack of competent skills, and which are very and poor recognition of social workers as well. Except you're going to blow your own trumpet, nobody will blow it for you, and you can only blow your trumpet when you try to exhibit competence anywhere you are as a professional, not as a quack. You need to let people know that you are a professional. And when you say you are a professional, there are certain skills that we need to see in you. There are certain conduct that you need to put forward so that people can see that in you. Then they can say you are a professional, a competent professional for that matter. So in this regard, imbibe the spirit of reading very well, reading appropriately. What I mean by appropriately is you read at the right time and ensure that what you read, you understand, you digest, and you practice. You know, social work is a practice-based profession. It's not that you're going to do it in theory. That is why we are saying we want to, you want, that is why you want to become a professional. You know, a professional is different from somebody that is a generalist or that is a generalist. When you're a professional, it means that no other person, you can only claim to be that professional because of certain skills you have possessed. And one to keep you with such skills, that is why this kind of a proficiency program has been introduced so that you can link the theory with the practice. Your interaction with some of these agencies, like I told you last time when we had the class, I said you can interact with the various ministries. You can also find out How many ministries are related to social welfare or social development in your state? When you find out, you ask them, what do you do as a ministry? You know that one, you may not even get that one in a book. Go to any of your ministry, or you can call anybody you know in any of the ministry, or of all the sectors we mentioned the last time. You know, I touched some areas like education, health, people living with disability, vulnerable groups, elderly, and so on and so forth, the children, orphanage homes. You can ask them, ask this agency, what do you do as an agency of government? What do you do as an agency of government? What are your core mandates in these ministries? With this, you will be able to, and you can ask them, what are the problems, what are the challenges facing you as a government agency or as a government ministry? So people have talked about a number of constraints or a number of challenges. Somebody mentioned poverty, and which I try to elaborate on. So you can talk about widespread poverty and unemployment. You can say widespread because it's becoming very overwhelming for government to handle, because every day poverty rate continues to increase. It's not decreasing. So that is why it's becoming widespread. So it has become a great bottleneck for government to handle, or anybody in charge of social welfare, as well as the widespread unemployment. That is why I mentioned high rate of unemployment the other time. You have mentioned corruption, which you understand perfectly, because if you can stop all our corrupt habits in Nigeria today, Nigeria, in the next 5 years, Nigeria will come to a better position, and we're going to lead all African nations. In fact, we can even be among the leading countries of the world. We will graduate from low income to high income country. We will graduate from poor country to developed country. That is, if all of us, everybody, can live away out of his sight, out of his mind, that corrupt tendency. Everybody in Nigeria, every Nigeria has that corrupt tendency in him or her. Can we just remove this? Even as a student, there are students that even cheat in exams. There are students that cut corners. There are students that will look for shortcuts to pass. There are students that will look for shortcuts even to navigate the school system. All this. There are people, that are young boys and girls that are actually looking for shortcuts to their lives. So is that not corruption? But if you can stop that, you as an individual, you can fight that on your table. You can fight that within your own context. You can fight that as a person where you are. You can fight that as a member of the family. You know, Nigeria will be better, because the family is the microscopic unit of any society. So wherever you are, you may be looking at it as, hey, I'm still a student, so I'm a young person. They are just talking about corruption. People that were talking about corruption when they were students, they are now there. Are they not corrupt now? They are occupying positions. They are in the assemblies, they are in the legislature, they are in the judiciary, they are in the executive, all over. They are among the technocrats. Are they not corrupt? And mismanagement of welfare funds. You, in your student association, your leaders in those bodies, your leaders in those organs, how do they manage your own fund? Do they manage it with greater or high accountability? Are they responsible to their actions or management of fund? This is where it starts. In your student union, how do they manage your affairs? Are they corrupt? Do they engage in corrupt acts, in any of the corrupt conduct? So these are things we need to look at. As a social worker, you should look at the way the society can be better off. And you can start from your own end. And this is what we are talking about as a social worker, because we are looking for how society will be better. So how do you think? We want to be a social worker, and the essence of being a social worker is to look at the long-term well-being of the society. And if you are in a position, maybe as a student leader, do you live by example? Do you promote corrupt-free leadership? All this, you should, as a social worker should not be a source of problem for the society. That is where I'm driving at. You as a social worker should not be a source of problem for society. You should not create a problem for somebody else to come and solve. That is why you are a social worker. So if all of you on this call, about 21 or 20, if all of you on this call can be determined, can just resolve, can be resolute to say no to corruption, no to mismanagement, no to bad governance. With this, Nigeria can start a new life from your own end, from your own set. Don't look at it as how many are we out of 220 million Nigerians. No. Rome was not built in a day anyway. And the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. You can start the crusade. You can start the gospel from your own corner, from your own comfort or discomfort zone. So if you can do this, our society will be better. So you can also talk about inadequate social protection coverage. Inadequate, informal workers are left out. Everybody will complain of corruption. When you go to, if you have a car and you go to a mechanic workshop for a mechanic to fix your car for you, if your car has faults, the mechanic will want to charge you extrally or specially because you have brought a very good car to him or to him. A mechanic that's supposed to charge you for 2,000 naira will be claiming that he has bought a part he has replaced a damaged part in your vehicle, which ordinarily shouldn't be more than 2,000 naira. He will tell you that it is 5,000 naira. He has just bought it for 5,000 naira. And when they are talking about corruption, we say those in the offices, in the public places, they are corrupt. Police are corrupt. Immigration are corrupt. Customs are corrupt. And all this, they will be saying all that. He will have forgotten that singular act of ease of raising 2,000 naira to 5,000 naira for a replaced part, he doesn't understand it as a corrupt as a corrupt act. You can see. So the informal workers are also left out of this some of this social protection program that we have. That is another challenge. Weak institutional frameworks. Many of these institutions that we have, their frameworks are very weak, so making it very difficult to achieve their desired objectives. Most of these ministries, most of these policies that are put in place, they are very weak. So they are very difficult to implement. When you implement, you will still find loopholes. And when loopholes are there, it is these loopholes that the adversary will look at and will say that this particular government is not working. Or we even notice that, and that will be very, very obvious to people to see that this particular agency in charge of social welfare is not performing because they are weak policies, they are weak laws, they are weak guidelines or weak framework to guide implementation of those social welfare programs. We can also, somebody also mentioned cultural practices that reinforce inequality. I didn't take your answer because you didn't explain further. You only say cultural practices. When you talk about cultural practices, you need to link it with inequality. Somebody mentioned about transportation the other time. Because of transportation may not be a problem if it is just transportation. At least we can move from one place to the other without any problem, except we don't have good roads. Those are infrastructure. Already, those ones deserve attention. But before you can link it to a challenge, you have to talk about inequality. In the transportation, the inequality we have in the transportation sector is a problem, is a challenge. How? Those in the rural areas, they have less infrastructure than those in the urban centers. If you are from Enugu, the Enugu metropolis will enjoy government attention than those in the rural settings, and that is an inequality. It's an inequality trend. It's an inequality trait that actually gives more attention to people living within the metropolis than those in the suburb. So when we have that inequality, we can say that because of that infrastructural inequalities, it's a problem. So they continue to spend more on the on the city infrastructure or on the metropolitan infrastructure, on the urban infrastructures than those in the rural areas. So, but when we talk about cultural practices that involve inequality, we are talking about those practices that are culturally rooted, like female genital mutilation. In some communities, they continue to cut female girls, female children. They continue to cut them because of their cultural belief, because of their cultural norms. There are society, there are cultures where women voices or women's voice should not be heard, except man. Except man. If you go to the north, you cannot have any intervention without getting the consent of the male gender. What am I saying? You get on an household. In that household, the concept of the man of the household is primary to whatever you want to do. So there's no way you can talk to the women without getting the consent of the men. So which means no woman will answer you anything. So if you are talking about development, social welfare meant for women, you cannot do it without informing the man. Whatever the man says, whatever the husband, whatever the head of the household says, that is what you follow. That is what you should actually work on to ensure that you record success in whatever intervention you are bringing in. That is about cultural practices. So overdependence on oil revenues. Remove oil revenue from our revenue in Nigeria today. Many states will collapse. In fact, Nigeria government will not even survive because we overdepend on the oil revenue. Oil revenue or oil is the mainstay of our economy. The higher percentage of our revenue comes from oil. You can find out the percentage as an assignment from your own end. So when we depend on this, any fluctuation about the price, the price of oil at the global markets will affect whatever revenue we get in Nigeria, because we mostly depend on it. Because we see cheap money, because we can get, we have easier way of getting money from revenue. That is why corruption continues to expand and expand and expand, because we don't have any free money. There's no way, there will be no free money, and if you don't have excess money, there's no way you want to embezzle, because there will be no that money there for you in the first place to embezzle. So this is also limiting social spending. When we depend on oil revenue, it limits our social spending as well. I just added all this to all you have said. You can think about all these challenges, and the list will not be exhaustible at all. So you can also think about it. Think about all you have said, and those ones have added as part of the challenges facing social welfare development in Nigeria. So what are the role of social workers in development? We can look at it from this angle. Social worker, we act as advocates for vulnerable populations. It is you that will speak for those in the vulnerable population, the vulnerable groups we mentioned last week. The last lecture, during the course of the last lecture, you act as advocate for them. You advocate for them. How do I mean? When you do advocacy, you try to speak for them. You try to represent their interests at another space who you think can be of assistance or can offer support for them. You try to protect their interests before some other stakeholders that can provide support, better support. You let them see why they need our support. It is the role of the social worker. You're going to act as an intermediary between them being in need and you as a social worker, as a professional, and somebody that will be able, somebody that can provide that need. But you can, because it is not convenient for them, they don't have any link with such a stakeholder that will be provider. So it is you that will do that. It is through your advocacy efforts that that can be possible. How do you do advocacy? You can pay advocacy to government, public institutions, charity organizations, religious organizations or religious groups, cultural groups, socio-cultural groups, philanthropists, and so on and so forth. Any identified stakeholder or providers that you think of, you can link them up. That is, you are performing the work of, you are doing that duty as a social worker, and that is advocacy for you. You can link up, you can get in touch with the legislature in your state, get in touch with those in the judiciary to offer one support or the other. Those in the executive, you can link up with them. So it is this your interfacing that provides such advocacy role for you. Then you can also take part as a social worker in policy formulation and implementation. You can support policy formulation and implementation. I took a class, a higher class beyond this one. In that class, the title of the course there is social welfare policy. In that particular course, we try to examine various social welfare policies and the role the social worker can play to ensure that we have a good policy that is implementable. You can play your role in policy formulation. You can also play a role while the policy is being implemented. That is, we talk about implementation support. So again, you can also be useful as social worker in community mobilization. Somebody mentioned lack of community engagement the other time. So as a social worker, it is your duty to mobilize communities about their rights, to mobilize them, to create awareness among them, to educate them about so many other things. It is when you do this, you are performing the work of the community mobilization. That is why we have community social workers as well. Like we have medical social worker, we have community social worker, as well we have educational social worker, and so on and so forth. We have different category of social workers. So when you are in the community, you have that skill as a social worker to mobilize them. You have that mobilization skill. As a social worker, you should have it, and you engage in community mobilization. And you also facilitate community empowerment as well. That is, when you educate them, you try to give them empowerment, not just economic empowerment. You can give them education empowerment as well as other empowerment, giving them skills. These are also good empowerment that can be of can be of help to the society we belong. So again, we can also talk about monitoring and evaluation. In monitoring and evaluation of social programs, social workers are also involved. These are few of the role the social worker can play in development. These are few. You can find out more about roles social workers can play. I just try to give you key roles that you know that social workers play in ensuring that we have very scalable development or sustainable development in our area. So you participate in monitoring and evaluation of social programs. When somebody actually mentioned lack of adequate and reliable data the other time, you can only get data, you can only monitor when we have data to monitor. You can also evaluate when you have data to evaluate. In this case, when you monitor, when you evaluate, you come up with some data, you come up with some information that can be useful for other assessment. So we are talking about assessment. So you can be part of those that will even generate data for the society as a social worker, because data is very, very key in any development stride that you want to take. That is about role of social workers in development. I just gave you a few. You look at some more that can benefit you. Then we can also talk about policy frameworks. The other time I mentioned weak institutional frameworks. This framework provide a kind of foundation upon which you can implement some of the social welfare programs that we can think of. You know, it's very wide. It depends on the area of your interest. So policy frameworks, and we want to link it with sustainable development goals. How many of you have heard about sustainable development goals before now? Sustainable development goals. Can somebody just guide us? Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I can.
So,
All right, Chidima. Sustainable development goals. What do you understand by sustainable development goals? Chidima, if you are there. Chidima is not there. Grace.
Is so can I talk?
Talk now. Who is speaking? Please
Okay,
talk.
is known as sustainable SDGs. Is a 17 global goal that is adopted by UN.
Okay.
Yes, and its action is to fight against poverty, peace, bring about peace, prosperity, to protect the planet.
Good. Thank
Fight
you.
against hunger and all that.
Okay, you have that. So what I want, you have said it. There are 17 goals, meaning that there are 17 goals that have been adopted to be achieved by year 2030. So which means we have about 5 days, 5 years to go to reach 2030. So these goals actually are on 3 dimensions. We have social dimensions, economic dimension, and environmental dimensions. And I told you the last time that the social dimensions are intricately linked with all other goals. So we talk about SDG 1, which is no poverty, SDG 2, zero hunger, SDG 3, quality education, SDG 4, talking about health, good health, and SDG 5 talking about gender equality, and so on and so forth. Up till SDG 10, we talk about reduced inequalities, as well as the one talking about peace, the one talking about partnership and collaboration, which is the last SDG. That is goal 17. So what I'm trying to bring out of this is that these are policy frameworks that Nigeria also work on. Nigeria once set Nigeria Vision 2030, and which actually align with the Sustainable Development Goals, the 17 goals. But Nigeria is trying to accelerate progress on that so that we can also reach that milestone. For all the goals that we have, there are targets for each of the goals as well. About 169 targets, and there are indicators to determine whether we are moving, whether we are progressing or we are not progressing. So it is these indicators that we are able to measure, that we are able to monitor, that we are able to evaluate. So these are well related to what we do as social workers. So among the policy framework that I'm talking about, I talk about Nigeria Vision 2030, we talk about Agenda 2050, linking welfare with national development. All this agenda, all this vision, all these programs, they are linking welfare with national development. There's no way we can develop without making an impressive impact or without making progress in our welfare. So meaning that for any national development, welfare is very, very primary, is key. So again, SDG 1 talk about no poverty. When poverty is removed, among the challenges we talk about the other time is poverty, that the poverty is becoming widespread. Every day, the poverty level is increasing. I mean, the poverty rate is increasing. When we have an increased rate of poverty in Nigeria, we talk about poverty level less than $1 before and so on and so forth. But now, people are in more in abject poverty, that a little money, a little income cannot even take them out of that poverty. So all this address our welfare. SDG 10, we talk about reduce inequality directly tied to welfare. SDG 1, SDG 2, SDG 3, 4, 5, 6, even SDG gender equality, and the one that even talks about climate. Responsible production and consumption too, all these are linked with our social welfare. When you don't eat when you don't produce responsibly, when you don't produce responsibly or you don't even consume responsibly, you're going to do things that will affect the society. You're going to do things that will affect the social fabric of the society. It's going to affect your economy. It's going to even affect the environment. Let's take, for instance, generation of waste and our waste disposal system. It is what we consume. You know, waste generation is linked to consumption. It is what we consume. When after consumption, we generate waste. Even biologically, when you eat, after some time, what happens to it? When you eat, it digests, and at the end of that system, what do? You pass excreta. Your excreta goes somewhere as a waste. When you use a paper bag or you have a paper carton, what do? You discard them and you throw them away. They continue to form waste. What about the plastics that we use? What about the polythene that we use all along? What about this sachet water, the sachet water container that we use? Where do we throw them? Where do we put them? All these talks about our consumption. So if our consumption is not responsible, so it has come to a time now that everybody will have to ensure that you have a responsible consumption. What do I mean? Or how do I mean? Responsible consumption is the sense that you try to use things that you know can be reusable, things that you know can be reused, things that you try to reduce what you consume that can generate more waste. You look for alternatives that will not generate more waste. When you do that, you're going to protect the environment, you're going to protect the health of the people, you're going to safeguard the health of the people, and you're going to ensure that people live comfortably well among themselves. So we're talking about social welfare. So don't let me digress to that. So we can also talk about Nigeria National Social Protection Policy. My brothers and sisters, I want you to get hold of that Nigeria National Social Protection Policy and read about it. I wouldn't know whether I mentioned it when last we met. Go and read about Nigeria National Social Protection Policy. If you are writing an exam, I'm going to set exam from that policy. If you may not have a copy, you can get e-copy. You can get it from the website. You can get it online. Nigeria National Social Protection Policy. National Social Protection Policies, NSPP 2017 or 2022, either of the two. Go and read it. I mentioned it the other time. It aims for inclusive coverage for everybody. It's a comprehensive is the most comprehensive document about social welfare in Nigeria as of today that addresses social welfare in Nigeria as of today. We want to understand anything about social welfare, about social development, go and read that particular policy. The implementation is another thing, but the policy is already formulated that Nigeria is following. You can now look at what are the challenges in implementing this. So go and read that. It's a very good assignment for you, and you're going to make use of it when you do your, this is intermediate, right? When you do your final proficiency, exam, you're going to come across it. So it's better for you to read now. So we can quickly look at a few case studies. A few case studies in Nigeria. Within the Nigeria context, we are in Nigeria anyway. But if you are from Ghana, you can also look for case studies in Ghana or in Liberia, in Rwanda, in Cote d'Ivoire. You can also read about it in Kenya, in South Africa, and so on and so forth. In Nigeria, there are many, even at our state, at our subnational level. In most of our states, there are various social protection policies being implemented by different governments, by different state governments. So go and find out what is being operated in your own state as a social welfare policy. What policy is being implemented in your own state? Look at those policies, read about them for you to understand what we are talking about. So in some states, there is this school pupil, primary school pupil feeding. School feeding is also a social welfare program. In some states, there are programs that are targeted at youth empowerment. They call it youth empowerment. If it is Anambra Youth Empowerment Scheme, Enugu Youth Empowerment Scheme, Rivers State Youth Empowerment Scheme, where youth are engaged, where youth are employed to do what? To be gainfully employed or to be gainfully engaged. We have health insurance schemes. Various states have also adopted different health insurance schemes just to address health needs of their citizens. As an example of subnational innovation, these are examples of subnational innovation. Like we have national health insurance scheme. In some states, we have state health insurance scheme as well. Some services also, they do have their own insurance scheme. The military, they have their own insurance scheme. The police, they have their own insurance scheme. Immigration, custom, and so on and so forth. They have various schemes addressing social welfare needs of their people or of their staff or of their members. So as the case may be. If you read about, or we have been to the northeastern region of the country, where we have Borno, Yobe, and so on and so forth, Adamawa, all these states in the northeastern part of the country, like Bauchi and so on, you will see that they have their own various humanitarian intervention programs to address people that have been attacked by Boko Haram, people that have been displaced by various crises or insecurity. In Benue, that is central Nigeria, the north central region, we have a number of programs that are being implemented by their state government. There are programs that humanitarian interventions that are designed for displaced persons, especially post-insurgents, for their post-insurgent recovery. So in this regard, look at what is happening in your own state and how are they addressing various social issues in your own state. I think at this point, I want to believe that we've been able to touch areas that are required to be touched, areas that are required to be covered. And I will now give you the chance to ask questions. But before you ask your own questions, I want to put some of these questions to you for you to go and discuss among yourselves. If you like, go and discuss it. If you like, you may just leave it as it is. How effective are Nigeria's social investment programs in reducing poverty? From what I said, you can pick from there. What are being the Nigerian efforts, Nigeria government efforts at reducing poverty? At reducing poverty, what has been the effort of the government in addressing this through their social investment program? What has been the challenges? What are the strengths and weaknesses of traditional systems of social welfare compared to modern approaches? We talked about historical context last time. Can you compare and contrast what it used to be and what we have now in addressing our social welfare needs? In what ways can social worker influence Nigeria development agenda? In what way can you influence as a social worker? How best can you influence Nigeria development agenda? Think about it. And lastly, how do cultural practices in Nigeria shape the success of social welfare policies? How do cultural practices in Nigeria shape the success of social welfare policies in Nigeria? So I want to leave it to you as this, and you can read more on all I've been saying. But let me just suggest this to you. As a student, you can evaluate the Nigeria welfare program. Like I told you, you can evaluate the Nigeria welfare program. In fact, it can be part of your own project to evaluate any Nigeria welfare program, like Empower, NHIS, health insurance scheme, social protection, conditional cash transfer. You can examine, you can evaluate whether we are making progress or we are not making progress. Then you can also find out, is Nigeria investing enough in social welfare to achieve the SDGs? Is Nigeria spending more? Some of you mentioned inadequate funding. Is Nigeria, look at the budget, Nigeria budget, you can get it online. Look at the proportion or the percentage of funding to social welfare programs. Look at the percentage. How much is budgeted? How much is proposed to be spent on education? How much is proposed to be spent on social welfare? How much is actually provided for all other social welfare related activities or projects or programs? You can find out that. Can you also, well, we do not have that time. I will have asked you to propose community-based welfare strategy for rural local governments. How do you think rural local government areas, I mean the grassroots people, the community people, how do we think we can involve them? How do we think, what strategy can we adopt to ensure that these people are not neglected? These people are equally treated. These people do not bear the brunt of inequality that we have identified. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, let me give you the opportunity to ask questions. If you have questions, you have the floor to do that. Yes, just raise your electronic hand. If you have questions, if you have comments, because we have come to the end of the lecture, we have come to the end of the program, and what you do after this is to write exams. So you better ask questions if you have any. And all have been able to pass across to you. So I've seen Celestine, I've seen Big Daddy. So Celestine, ask your question. I can see your hand. Except Zao Adlu.
Okay, sorry, sir. It was not a question. It was about the assignment. Since I didn't answer, I was having network issues at the time.
Okay. Answer.
Okay, sir. What I was talking about was about hello.
Unfortunately, hello. Go ahead now.
Okay, so I was talking about political and social resistance.
It's okay. Political interference, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Also, global and regional disparities.
Okay, global inequality and regional disparity, which has to do with
Yes, sir.
inequality. Yes, thank you. Okay.
Sir.
Big Daddy.
Okay, so my question, like, is not really about this topic, this course now. I think I wanted you to, like, if possible, like, say the, like, ask or like give the assignment question again for those who were absent, possibly, and also for those who weren't present in the first class to, like, just do a quick summary, possibly.
Well, thank you. I cannot
Or
go
to
back to
do,
what we did last week. You ask your
oh,
mates, ask those, let me just start from there. Ask those who attended the class to update you on what we teach. So as I've not really given you any serious assignment now, but I will give you before we close. I will give you another one. The first one is part one, which you have actually, many of you responded very well, which I can see as a very good attempt, but some of you did not care. So for those that didn't care, I'm sorry for them. So, Big Daddy, have I addressed your concern?
yes, sir. So can I ask another thing? Because I don't know
Ask.
how this is like a, like, this is the first this thing exam writing and it's new to us. So I wanted to, like, ask if there's, like, any area or anything that would be
Area of concentration, you mean?
kind of that would be needed or something.
Is that
Like,
what you mean? Answer
yes,
me.
sir.
Answer me
Yes, sir.
categorically.
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes,
what you
sir.
mean. All
Yes.
I've said, to answer you quickly, all I've said is the area of concentration, even including the one we did the last lecture. Thank you.
Oh, okay, sir.
Is that all?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Caroline.
Okay,
After
sir.
you,
Thank you for
Chika
the
should do.
opportunity. Okay, thanks, sir, for the opportunity. Concerning the first class, I actually connected that day, but my network was so bad. From that to like how many hours, it wasn't working. But although I participated in today's this in the question, the assignments rather. But I want to know or plead with you if the material for the first class was dropped or is it going to be dropped for the interest of those that we are
That
not
didn't
able.
attend. Don't
Yes,
worry,
yes, sir.
I will drop the material. Who is representing you? Who is your representative here?
Already know.
You don't have it, but I told you last time to somebody that you should pick somebody to represent you so that that person can just private chat me. I send the material to you to guide your study. So just think about it. Someone should just do that and private chat me. I can send the material. Then that should be escalated to all others. Thank you.
Okay. All right, sir. Then another question.
Go ahead.
Okay, concerning what's the last this thing that you just made now, the questions you said we should go and make a research on and suggestions you made. So is it going to be added for our like exam or they are just?
Well, we'll ask the coordinator.
Okay.
Like I told you, I'm not teaching you just to pass the exam.
Okay.
Do you understand? Not
Yes,
just
sir.
for you to pass the exam. Is to make you a complete social worker. Is to ensure that when you go out, you can boldly say, I'm a professional social worker.
Okay.
So possessing a certificate is one leg. Professing practically, competently is another leg. So if I ask you, if I give you assignments, it's just for you to enrich your knowledge, number one, and also to add to whatever requirements may be needed to pass this particular level of the proficiency. So
Okay,
even
sir.
if those will not be used, never bother yourself about that. When I give you assignment, do the assignment. I know what to do about it.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you. Is that clear?
No, really, but so I was not
really.
able to, sorry, I was not really able to catch up with the
I will send the
questions.
material. Okay, the assignment, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I said.
You are fast about
I
them.
said, get in touch. Who can remind us of the assignment?
Give me pure water.
The assignment, the one I told you towards the end of this lecture. Anyway, in order to, okay, go ahead. Somebody
I was just ending at the I did not really get all of them, so no need of recapping.
No. The major one I talk about is about National Social Protection Policy that you should go and read.
Okay.
National Social Protection Policy 2017 or 2022. Either of the two is the same thing. 2022 is the latest. If you can find it, it's the edited one. I mean, it's the refilled one. The first one is 2017. So 2022 is the refilled one. All right, Chika. Caroline, can you mute your mic? Chika, over to you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Okay, I have a question. My question goes like this. In Nigeria, there are lots of social problems.
Sorry, just a minute. This lady, Smith, can you please mute your mic? Okay, go ahead, Chika.
Okay, in Nigeria, we have a lot of social problems. Now, as social workers, do we have to wait till we are being approached, or can we intervene in cases whereby we sense there is an issue or a problem or a situation whereby someone needs help? That is
Yes.
the first question.
No, you don't need to wait. You don't need to wait. What you do, in social work, you don't do things alone. You don't work in silo. When you identify any social issue that needs urgent attention, you link up with some other professionals or some colleagues that have knowledge, maybe better knowledge of the kind of problem you have identified, or you get in touch with the right agency that can actually address that. The agency is an agency of government, it's an arm of government that can actually handle that. And those one, when they handle it, they do it on behalf of the government. That is, if you cannot single-handedly handle it. Let me give you an instance. Female genital mutilation is outlawed. That is, there is law against it. So if you see anyone perpetrating that particular act, you can report such a person to the right agency. You can go to the social welfare and report. You can report to the police. They have their anti-violence unit or something related to that. So you can report because it's a law. So any violation of such law is punishable, and one can also be sued for it because it's a law of the land. So that is just an example. Among many. If you have seen somebody that is engaged or that is actually doing this human trafficking, that is called human trafficking.
The man no dey or him go answer something or na my network.
Peter,
Hello?
can you please mute your mic?
Anybody dey hear me? Hello?
Please mute
Hello?
your mic. Mute your mic.
Abeg, na make person talk na, man know whether na my network.
Now your network, oh.
Hello?
Now your network.
So as I was saying, so you see a woman that is trafficking children. You may not have that, you may not have the wherewithal, you may not have the skill to get in touch, to address that particular woman. Of course, you cannot face her. Perhaps you may be attacked. You can report to the right agency, or you report to somebody that will work on it. So that is how social work. That is how social workers perform their duties. You don't do things in silos. You have interconnection with others. You refer what you think you cannot actually handle. Thank you. Yes, Chika, have I addressed your concern?
Yes, yes, you have. Thank you, sir. I have a
Okay.
second question. I have a second
Please,
question.
please ask your question. Ask your question.
Okay, now, based on the challenges we learned in carrying out social welfare services on the angle of the social welfare social workers, the delay of certain policies, the implementation, and all that. For instance, when you want to seek for justice, or maybe you are carrying a particular case out and you know the law, everybody know that this is how it ought to be, or you as a social worker know that this is the processes. But sometimes, as you said, we have denial or maybe delay in such procedures. What is the solution? What can be done about it?
If there is delay,
okay.
If there is delay, perhaps at the level of the ministry or at the level of the level of the ministry or any social worker or anybody that is actually handling that, such a person, if it is at it is one desk, such a person will have a superior. You can actually take it up to the superior person. If it is the entire ministry, perhaps it is the head of that ministry that actually causing delay. Such ministry will also have another ministry that, or will have an organ that will be overseeing that particular ministry. You know, if it is the executive that is actually causing the delay, you can take the matter to the legislature. When you take it to the legislature, they will handle it. I know no one can be an island that will determine the cases in all contexts. So you take it to the superior organ, or you take it to any superior agency that will do that politely. You go through the appropriate channel to make your complaint so that can be treated. It has to be done politely, and it must not be in a very violent way. Thank you. Chika has spoken. Oka, Rejoice. Have you spoken? You have question, Rejoice?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sorry, sir. My network has been disturbing me, so I couldn't answer the previous question.
So you want to answer now? Answer in 1 minute, please.
Okay, sir. So one of the challenges is inadequate funding.
It has been mentioned. Okay, good.
Okay,
good.
How about mismanagement and corruption?
Yes, we also mentioned that. Inadequate funding, can you throw light on the inadequate funding?
Okay, it simply means limited government budgets.
Okay.
And resources that they use to sustain welfare programs.
Good. That is better. So that is good of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
For that. Thank you for that, for bringing that in. That is Rejoice, right?
Thank you for the opportunity, sir.
No problem. You are welcome. Rejoice what? Rejoice.
Oka.
Okay. I can see. So thank you. Thank you. Caroline, you have spoken now. Do you want to say anything? Your hand is still up. So if there is no other...
No, sir. Okay, let me go and remove it.
Remove your hand so that... Chidima, you have anything to say? Chidima has not been spoken. She ran away the other time. Even when I called her in the class, she didn't answer. So Chidima, do you have anything to tell us? If you don't have anything, I think at this point in time, somebody should just send a message to me so that to remind me about the material. I will send it over to you so that you can go through to be your guide in preparing for your exams. So I want to wish you best of luck, and for you to have a very good luck, you need to prepare, you need to read, and you need to study as well. Put it in your mind that this is not preparing you for certificate alone. We're preparing you for the society. We want to see you as a practitioner that will be outstanding, that will be doing well in various fields of social work. And I will also want to urge you to be good ambassadors when you practice outside. At least when you finish your study and you practice outside, you should be good ambassadors of the social work, of the noble social work profession. So if there is no other question, there are no comments, I think I can say bye-bye at this point in time. And until we have the opportunity of meeting again, perhaps in another proficiency class, I want to say thank you most sincerely.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Remain blessed.
Thank you, sir.
And
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
you are welcome.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much, sir.
as well.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you too.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you are
Thank
welcome.
you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye, sir.
Big Daddy, you can send message to me so that I can send that material.
Thank
I
you,
just
sir.
Big Daddy, you can send message to
Sir.
me on my wall. I just saw your chat now. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir.
Abeg, who know how this exam go be sef?
Do we text him privately on WhatsApp or on this particular Zoom?
Big Daddy, I think you text him on WhatsApp. His
Okay,
DM.
so I don't have his number. Is it on this
Go
Zoom
to
app?
the now. Go to the group.
Okay,
You will see.
okay, it's in the group.
Yes.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye, Safi deal. Safi.
Wetin you talk? Wetin you talk? Eh?
How for that?
Mona dey go, class don end. Mona dey go. Mona comot.
Bye-bye, Safi do. All right.